Don't look back, we're here to stay. A life we knew would come one day. And this is it, the borderline to where the future leaves us behind. The fire will burn and never die, looking through the eyes of a brand new life. And so just find me, just find me. Sparks will fly if we scream now. This is not how we're gonna go. We are the ones who'll never let go. Just watch us roll till we're no one knows. We'll never grow.
Formula 1 returns to the Red Bull Ring in Austria for round 9 of the 2017 season, and there was big news coming out of both of the Williams and the Toyota garages. Williams confirmed an all-new B-spec car for the second half of the season, which will feature a redesigned BMW power unit and revised chassis and aerodynamics, in hopes that Josh Cherry can defend his championship title and Williams can get somewhere close to defending their constructors title. Toyota also confirmed a B-spec car for the second half of the season, which will run their all-new bespoke Toyota power unit, with the Japanese team confident they can take a podium finish from Belgium onwards. Mercedes also confirmed their 2 drivers for next season, and it came as little surprise to anyone that both Fernando Alonso and Pascal Wehrlein will stay on at the Brackley-based team for 2018. Fernando Alonso will take pole position for the Austrian Grand Prix, with Jean-Eric Vergne, the championship leader, completing the front row. Sebastian Vettel will start from P3, getting the better of Pascal Wehrlein by only 0.02 of a second, and Wehrlein has to settle for P4. The Red Bulls could only manage 5th and 6th at the home Grand Prix, with Daniel Kvyat getting the better of teammate Max Verstappen. Robbie Kubica will start as the leader of the Williams from 7th, with Lewis Hamilton the lead of the Toyotas, starting from 8th. Hamilton's teammate Kamui Kobayashi will start from 9th, with defending world champion Josh Chiro only managing 10th place in qualifying. It will be an all Haas row 6, with Lance Stroll getting the better of new teammate Mick Schumacher by just under 2.5 tenths of a second. For the second race in a row, it will be an all Renault row 7, with once again Nico Hülkenberg getting the better of Daniel Ricciardo in qualifying. Continuing the Noah's Ark theme, will be an all Toro Rosso row 8, with Pierre Gasly getting the better of Carlos Sainz by just under 0.02 of a second. Rio Haryanto would better Antonio Giovinazzi this time out to line up in 17th, with the young Italian having to settle for 18th on the grid. Adrian Sutil starts from 19th, and Carmen Jorda rounds off the back of the grid for McLaren. Hey guys, Taro here. Welcome back to UniONE. This time, round 9 for season 4, the Austrian Grand Prix. If you did miss the race last time out, definitely do go and check out that race. Pretty crazy race at Azerbaijan. Now looking onto this race, what can Robbie Kubica do? He didn't really get a representative result last time out, so hopefully this time he's out-qualified us, so he's done half the job already, but can he take the fight to the 2 Red Bulls and maybe even the Ferraris and Mercedes? Also, what can Mick Schumacher do after his dreadful race last time out? So he's only slightly slower than his teammate Lance Stroll in qualifying, so Schumi definitely is improving. But now cutting back onto us, starting from P10. The 20th, it's been a while since we started legitimately this far down the grid. Remember back to Spain, we did start from 11th then, but that was because of a grid penalty, so we did qualify 6th there, but this time, starting from 10th, we've got the 2 Hasses there right up behind us, so our B team in effect looked to be like they could do better than the top team Williams. Now we have to wait now to the 5 red lights. Now coming to the 5 red lights for the start of the Austrian Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go. Can we get a good start this time? It's like the guy in front of us to get a pretty poor start there. So that's sort of like Lewis Hamilton there. So he's going side by side. Turn 1 trying to make the move up the inside of Lewis Hamilton. Going to turn 1 and try and make the move there up the inside of the 2008 World Champion. But Hamilton down the racing line gets some momentum around the outside. Now we've got Lance Stroll going side by side with us now, trying to hold it up inside. It's going to be a drag race now up into turn 2. Now the Haas will be faster in a straight line, but we're on the grippy tyres instead of Stroll on the super soft tyres. And Stroll did has to tuck back in line behind us, so we maintain position into P10. Now coming on now to 10, we got a huge dive bomb there for one of the Toro Rosses, making about 6-7 positions there. So really brave move there from whichever top of the Toro Rosses that was. Now come back to us, we are still in P10. Got Lewis Hamilton in front of us and Stroll just behind us. And you see the cars in front of us already slowly starting to pull away from us. So looks like the Toyotas with that have now confirmed a Toyota engine for the second half of the season, so from Belgium onwards. So they've only got a few races left to go with the AMG power, so it'll be interesting to see how Toyota fare in a straight line when they bring their own bespoke power unit. Because we know that AMG power unit is one of the best on the grid, so in a straight line currently there's still going to be one of the fastest cars to deal with. There's really going to be a headache there for the Red Bull. In between, they've got Komario actually going in front there of one of the Red Bulls, so you see that in front, the other Red Bull already pulling away significantly into the distance, so we know that the Toyotas still do like a bit of downforce on their cars, and we know the Red Bulls are lacking in a straight line, so it pretty much evens themselves out between the two of them. And now coming down to turn 1, Verstappen isn't close enough to make a move, but now you have the slipstream on the back of Kobayashi. Now coming up into turn 2, will Verstappen be close enough to try and make a move with his head, can try and dive from up the inside? No, he has to steer behind Kobayashi there. Because Kobayashi, with that superior engine power, is just able to pull away in a straight line. Now looking back into us, we're still behind Hamilton there and Stroll, still doing a good job being on the slower tyres to keep it there. In P11 just inside the points paying positions, but if we can come down the straight once again, Hamilton and the cars in front of us are just pulling away from us down the straight. So is there something wrong with our car? Because we shouldn't be losing out that much in a straight line. You know, the traction on our car isn't the greatest, but we do get purple there through the second sector, so maybe it is just the lack of traction we're getting, because in a straight line Verstappen is pulling away from us. You've seen the cars in front, so Hamilton's pulling away from us and not changing Verstappen, so Verstappen is also pulling away from us. Now looking on board now with Verstappen, coming around the final few corners now. Is he close enough this time to try and make a move on Kobayashi? You have what's slipstream once again, because DRS won't be activated until the next time round, so they're coming on to lap 3 now. So now DRS will be activated, so coming down the 2 straights, Verstappen will have DRS to try and get him past the popular Japanese driver. Now coming up into turn 2, is Verstappen even going to need DRS to make a move? On Kobayashi coming into turn 2, Verstappen going to try and dive up the inside this time. Once again, no, he's just a bit too far back. Has to stick behind Kobayashi. But now Verstappen will have DRS now to try and make a move on the back of Kobayashi. Is he close enough? Is he even gaining with DRS? You see, even with DRS open, he really isn't gaining anything on the back there of Kobayashi. So Cosworth look like they still have plenty of work to do, although a huge locker there from Kobayashi. That's not going to do his tyres any favours. But thankfully for Kobayashi's sake, he manages to get around the corner and doesn't lose his position there to Max Verstappen. See, now coming through the second sector, we're right up behind the back here of Lewis Hamilton, so we're just once again proving our superior chassis and aerodynamics over the Toyota, but just with their straight line speed and general low drag setup, there's just nothing we can do to get past Lewis Hamilton. Now Carlos Sainz does move up to 11th there, getting past Lance Stroll, but of course Sainz is on the softer ultra soft tyres. Now looking up front to our teammate Robbie Kubica's ahead there, also one of the Red Bulls, but keeping pretty good in range there of the Mercedes and throws up in front, so if they make any mistakes then Kubica will be right there to pounce on them. Now they're gaining position, but now we've got Pascal Wehrlein, I think this is, gaining on the back of the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel. Now coming up into turn 2, is Wehrlein going to go for a dive up the inside coming into turn 2? No, he isn't. We know he's got a contract at Mercedes there now for next season, so a bit of extra motivation there for Pascal Wehrlein to do well in this race to try and get past the Ferrari. And now with DRS, is Wehrlein close enough to the back? Or Sebastian Vettel try and make a move coming down into turn 3. Once again, Wehrlein just is a bit too far back there. There's a huge lock up there though from Sebastian Vettel, which again isn't going to do his tyres any favours. So Vettel really is feeling the pressure of the young German, the 5-time world champion. You wouldn't think he'd crack that easily under pressure. It seems he definitely is feeling the pressure here from Pascal Wehrlein. You see Wehrlein, his second sector, all over the back of that Ferrari, because with what now will probably be a rather uncomfortable tyre with all the vibrations going through with that flat spot. But now coming up into the final 2 corners, once again Wehrlein just has to be patient, stick behind Sebastian Vettel through these 2 corners, and now try and get some good momentum out of the final corner going down the start finish straight, which is the second of the DRS straights, or the first of the DRS straights depending on which way you want to look at it. And they're coming down into turn 1, Wehrlein is just a bit too far back once again to try and make a move on the back of Sebastian Vettel. And see, this is really allowing Kubica and Daniel Kvyat behind to really keep up with the two of them. Now cutting a bit further on, we've still got Max Verstappen right up behind the back there of Komario Kobayashi. Still hasn't managed to find a way past the Japanese driver yet, but now with DRS, is Verstappen gaining time? Verstappen finally is gaining on the back of Komario Kobayashi, coming to tail. He's going to try and make a move. No, he's just a bit too far back once again, so he must have turned the engine up now to try and make a move, to be challenging the back of an AMG powered car. Yeah, coming up with a slipstream now into turn 2. Is Verstappen going to try and make a dive? This has going to pull to the inside now. Of Kobayashi and Hamilton look to make it 3 wide coming up to the brake zone. Going to be the last of the late breakers between the 3 of them. Kobayashi on the outside, Hamilton on the inside. Kobayashi gets squeezed down the other side. Now we're going side by side now with Kobayashi. Kobayashi could lose 3 positions in one corner. There's going to be a drag race now down into turn 4 between myself and Kobayashi. He made the move stick there around the outside of Kobayashi, so terrible piece of luck there for Komario Kobayashi, losing 3 positions in one corner straight, but Verstappen there has kept it in front now of Lewis Hamilton. Now Hamilton, how fast he can be with any car he's driven. Now Hamilton unleashed to try and attack Max Verstappen before he pulls away too far into the distance. We know that the Toyota is faster in a straight line, but the Red Bull with superior aero and chassis should be able to pull away through the corner. You see Verstappen there is already pulling away from Lewis Hamilton now through the corner. They're coming up into the final 2 corners. Is Hamilton close enough to try and make a move back at the inside? He's going to have to stick with him here to try and make a move with DRS. Verstappen though already pulling away significantly from Lewis Hamilton, but now Hamilton will have DRS to try and make a move. You see there, Verstappen's still pulling away despite the power unit advantage being with the Toyotas. The aero advantage that Red Bull has is just too much for the Toyotas to be able to live with. Now coming all the way to lap 10, so it took a while, but Verstappen has finally got past Kobayashi. Now coming up into turn 2, we're still keeping pretty close here to Lewis Hamilton, so now Hadley Hamilton. We can try and make a move on the back of Lewis Hamilton pretty soon, because it won't be too long, I'd think, until he falls out DRS range on the back of Max Verstappen in front. So now coming down the first of the DRS straights, there's nothing we can do here with Verstappen. With literally we go a bit wide on the curb to take out one of the braking boards, so oopsie. That's pretty much going to affect us now for the rest of the race, and well, this is going to affect everyone else as well. It's not just going to affect us by taking out one of the braking boards, and there's the VSC deployed as Pascal Wehrlein's out of the Grand Prix. The last time race winner Pascal Wehrlein out of the Grand Prix. You see they pulled off there to the inside, so surely this must be some kind of mechanical issue. Now we've got a VSC deployed for that. But terrible luck there for Pascal Wehrlein. Battling there with Sebastian Vettel. We know that AMG's reliability hasn't been the greatest this season, mainly with Fernando Alonso pretty much DNFing every 2 races. Now this time it looks like the bad luck has now gone into Pascal Wehrlein. Looking at a replay of what happened to the unchained, you see he's actually got past Sebastian Vettel, so he doesn't have a crash with Sebastian Vettel, I wouldn't think anyway. And coming in now through the second sector, what happens here to Sebastian Vettel? There's an engine failure, something's smoking away there at the back of his car, and there just pulls off through the gravel trap onto the escape road. Pretty much the only place he can go there, so unfortunately there for Pascal Wehrlein has had to retire from the Grand Prix. Now cutting a bit further on, we're now coming in for our first pit stop of the race. We're going into another set of the ultra soft tyres. This is like a pretty lonely pit lane, only us coming in, so we're making an undercut here on Hamilton and on Max Verstappen as well, so we can use our fresher tyres to our advantage to try and jump the 2 of them. Now coming in, hopefully get a good pit stop here from Williams to go into the ultra soft tyres, and it looks like a good pit stop there from Williams, not anything like that nightmare pit stop we had with Lotus, remember back to season 2 in 2015 when we were held for Jordan, who was basically a lap down to get a front wing change. Thankfully for Kubica, he's had no kind of issues, and now we're coming back out on the track. They're behind Komario Kobayashi, who's on the set of ultra soft tyres. So Kobayashi must have stopped even earlier than what we did, and has now undercut us. So now we try and chase down the Japanese driver. Now coming all the way now onto lap 12, we're actually caught up now to the back of Komario Kobayashi. Now we've got DRS on the back now of Kobayashi. We've got Haryanto behind us, but Haryanto's going to be no challenge to us whatsoever. 1, he's in slower tyres, and 2, he's in a much slower car. We're coming into turn 1, we're just a bit too far out behind Kobayashi there to make a move on the back of him, but now we have the slipstream now coming up into turn 2. But we know how fast that AMG engine is with that low drag Toyota. Now we're gaining in the slipstream now on the back of Komario Kobayashi, coming up now into turn 2. And Jean-Eric Vergne's out of the Grand Prix, the championship leader, out of the Grand Prix. What could have been a very good race for Ferrari, maximising the potential with Pascal Wehrlein out of the Grand Prix. Now Jean-Eric Vergne, the championship leader, out of the Grand Prix, but now we have gaining on the DRS on the back of Komario Kobayashi once again coming into turn 3, just a bit too far back behind. Now we've got one of the Saubers there up in front, which hopefully can hold up Kobayashi for us. We know the Saubers really are lacking in the aero department, the chassis department. I mean, with the straight line speed, there's nothing much really they can do because they've got a Cosworth power unit, so they just have to take it as they come, like Red Bull do. We go through the yellow flags in there, so of course we can't overtake there. But now green flag once again, so now can Kobayashi make a move on the back of the Sauber again, right up behind the back, and they're coming up through the final few corners. Kobayashi there just has to stick behind The Sauber, we see they're darting to the inside, looking all over again, very close to the back there of Kobayashi, almost hit into his gearbox. Now Kobayashi getting his position on the back now of the Sauber, is going to pull to the inside now of the Sauber coming into turn 1. Going to Sauber try and fight back up the inside with Kobayashi there, breezes past the Sauber before they even get into turn 1. But now Sauber will have the slipstream, but now we'll have the slipstream on the back now of Adrian Sutter. We're going to go to the outside of Adrian Sutter, which will then turn to the inside, coming now into turn 2. But once again, we just breeze past the Sauber like he's not even there, coming up now into turn 2. Sauber there loses 2 positions, 2 straights, and then we've got Lewis Hamilton there coming out of the pit behind us on a set of soft tyres. So is Hamilton looking to go to the end of the race on that set of soft tyres? I mean, that's the only reason why you'd go on the soft tyres. So it looks like Hamilton trying to one-stop this race, and now me and Kobayashi, we need to put our foot down, try and pull away to build a pit stop gap to Hamilton. Now looking at trying to learn actually what happened to him. So they come around the second sector once again. There's going to be an engine failure for Pascal Wehrlein. It gets on the curb, it gets right, does a wheelie in the air there and lands back down. And that must have broke something on the car. And then just has to retire there. See, nothing went. So it looks like just a mistake over the curb, launched his car, and then on the landing must have damaged the suspension or something around there anyway. Now moving on now to lap 15. We're right on the back now of Komario Kobayashi. You've got 2 cars up the road just in front of us as well. Now going through the sector once again, it's using our superior downforce to gain on the back of the Toyota, but there's absolutely nothing we can do to get past them through the second sector. There's nowhere really, the only overtaking opportunities really are into turn 1, turn 2 or turn 3. There's around the rest of the lap. There's just nothing you can do to get past. Now we have the DRS and slipstream on the back now of Komario Kobayashi. Now we can pull to the inside now of Kobayashi coming up now into turn 1. Kobayashi there just managed to hold it around the outside. He gets the pull run now on the curbing, runs out wide. Now it's going to be a drag. It's now up into turn 2 to ourselves on Kobayashi. He made the move stick there on Komario Kobayashi. Now we can try and chase down the 2 Renaults who are yet to stop this race with Kobayashi. Can try and make a dive back up our inside coming into turn 2. He's very close behind us. Once again, Kobayashi just sticks behind us there, doesn't make a move on the back of us. But now coming up now down the straight, so we've got the two runners in front of us. It's going to take us a while now to try and catch up to the back of them. Now we've got yellow flags further behind us. And down to 17 runners, so someone else is now retired from the Grand Prix. Now coming up through the sector to the 2 runners looking very close behind us. So it could be quite a battle coming up between those 2 in the near future. With Hulkenberg there, just behind Daniel Ricciardo. Now Pierre Gasly's out of the Grand Prix. So once again, we have another VSC deployed once again. Now for the Toretto's retirement. So poor luck there for Pierre Gasly. Now coming up now, looking at replay, what happened to Pierre Gasly. Coming up now into Sanchez, there's puts a wheel on the grass, which is probably on the braking zone. He runs wide there into the braking zone, which allows one of the Hasses there to get up his inside. And then what happens here to Pierre Gasly? He just like going fine behind it, then Gasly just pulls off to the inside, so possibly a brake failure. So sometimes we saw him run wide into turn 2, so probably a brake failure, I'd say, for Pierre Gasly. Now coming on to the end of the VSC, now into P7 of 17. Okay, right up to the back now of the 2 Renaults, still Hulkenberg behind Daniel Ricciardo. So Ricciardo really showing some good pace in this race. I mean, back to last season, season 3 here at Austria, Ricciardo was showing some pretty decent pace as well until we had the unfortunate incident with him, which pretty much half spun him and ruined any chance of the Australian scoring any points in the race. But now getting all over the back now of Nico Hulkenberg, showing up now, coming out into the final 2 corners. Can we make a move there to the side of Hulkenberg? We're just a bit too far back to make anything stick. So we have to stay behind Hulkenberg now, coming up through the final corner. Get very close behind Hulkenberg there, almost rounding to the back of the German now with DRS. I'll be close and try and make a move coming to turn 1, but across Hulkenberg we still have DRS off the back of the car in front, pushing Daniel Ricciardo coming into turn 1. Is that the road? It's actually got some pretty decent top end speed. I imagine him running a relatively low drag setup as well. Try and maximise the pace, keep with the Toyotas and the Hasses. But now once again we have the DRS now on the back of Nico Hulkenberg coming up into turn 2, but Hulkenberg there. Some pretty good straight line speed. It's actually enough to keep ahead of us there. Now just come up now instead of get very close once again to the back of Nico Hulkenberg, just to avoid contact there with the back of the German. But now Hulkenberg will have DRS on the back now of his teammate Daniel Ricciardo coming down into turn 3. So Hulkenberg close to try and make a move on the back of Daniel Ricciardo coming on the inside. Ricciardo there defends to the inside slightly, and Hulkenberg just has to stick behind Daniel Ricciardo. And of course the more we fight, the more this is going to allow Kobayashi and Hamilton of course catch up to us. Now let's see, we're looking all over the back now of Nico Hulkenberg, but there's just no way we can get past him. I think we've got such fresher tyres, such better downforce, but through the second sector there's nothing we can do with it. Try and make a move on the back of Nico Hulkenberg. Now Hulkenberg will have the slipstream once again on the back now of Daniel Ricciardo coming up. Now finally Hulkenberg going to make a move to the inside now. Daniel Ricciardo going to be side by side with the 2 runners going around the final few corners. With Ricciardo there on the racing line, just able to hold it round the outside there of Nico Hulkenberg. Now Hulkenberg once again will have DRS now to try and make a move on Daniel Ricciardo. This is gaining quite a bit of the slipstream. He's going to pull to the inside now of Daniel Ricciardo coming up now into turn 1. Can Hulkenberg make the move stick on his Can Ricciardo hold it around the outside once again? Going to be side by side now corner races, but Hulkenberg there forces his way past his Australian teammate now Can Ricciardo come back with the slow stream on the back now of Nico Hulkenberg? We see Hulkenberg already pulling away. Now we can check around the outside now of Daniel Ricciardo coming into the break zone. We're side by side with Daniel Ricciardo. Ricciardo trying to hold it up the inside. We're holding it around the outside on the racing line with our fresher tyres. And he made the move around the outside there of Daniel Ricciardo. But now Ricciardo will have DRS still to try and defend now from Kamui Kobayashi. Behind us, we now how fast Kobayashi's Toyota will be in a straight line. Yeah, coming down now into the braking zone. Once again, we're going to be a while there. Let's say we take up one of the other braking boards. So now we can try and pull away now from Daniel Ricciardo and try and catch on to the back now of Nico Hulkenberg. See, Hulkenberg started the race on that set of tyres, so Hulkenberg's now done 19 laps on that set of soft tyres, so his tyres are going to be pretty much shot at this point now. So now we have easily so much we gained in already in one, not even one sector, how much we're gaining on the back of Nico Hulkenberg. Now coming down to the final few corners, we have to stay behind Hulkenberg through here, try and get a good run out of the final corner, try and make a move on Hulkenberg coming down into turn 1. We have DRS now on the back of the German, and now coming down into turn 1. I'll be close to try and make a move on the back of Hulkenberg. Once again, Hulkenberg not really gaining on the back of Hulkenberg coming to turn 1. Hulkenberg there with some brilliant top end speed for a Renault, so he must be running a really low drag setup on that car. And now coming down to turn 1 once again with the slipstream gaining on the back of Nico Hulkenberg coming up now into turn 2. Let's try and make a move this time. We set our best first sector of the race, go green there through this first sector, but that's surprising with how much slipstream we're getting on the back of Nico Hulkenberg. Now once again with DRS, going to try and make a move now into turn 3. So Hulkenberg really is doing a good job of holding us up in this race. That's really going to allow Kobayashi behind us to try and catch up in the not too distant future. Now Hulkenberg there with a huge lock up. We're just not able to make anything of it there. And now coming up now through this sector, once again we're just going to stay behind Nico Hulkenberg coming up through this sector. He's going to try and make it side by side, try and look for a right where the other side. Hulkenberg once again just defends brilliantly there once again. This is just costing us so much time, the two of us now, costing me because we're stuck behind a Renault. See there, we lose over a second there in that one sector with how slow Hulkenberg's going. Now Hulkenberg defends to the inside now, can go into the final few corners. We have to go around the outside there. Hulkenberg can be side by side now with Nico Hulkenberg. Actually, Hulkenberg's coming into the pits there. Now Hulkenberg coming in for what should be his one and only stop of the Grand Prix to go onto a set of the ultra soft tyres. Well, I would think so. He's pretty much doing the opposite strategy to what everyone starting in the top 10 did, going to a set of soft, starting a set of ultras, going to a set of soft. So Hulkenberg starting on the soft should be going to a set of ultra soft now. And then coming into his pit box, actually going to a set of the super soft tyres. So Hulkenberg clearly feels he can't take a set of ultra softs to the end of the Grand Prix. I mean, running a low drag setup with less downforce, it will scrub the tyres more and use more of the tyres up quickly. But now moving on to lap 23, you've got yellow flags up in front of us. Now coming up here, anything happening? There's a Ferrari off the track. You're going to lose the back end completely then. Obviously now expecting Sebastian Vettel there to be on the side of the track. Now Vettel's stuck on the exit there of turn 2. Now I can say, I see that's karma for ramming me off there into turn 2 back in the Lotus days in 2015. So Vettel getting his karma now, stuck off where he rammed us off. Actually, don't know what's wrong with this guy. His car looks rather wonky. He says, has he got a suspension failure? I mean, why is he... Well, he's got back on the track at least, so no, he's stopped in the middle of the track. There's something wrong with the back of that car. Has he got a puncture or something? You see there, the front right wheel's up in the air, so something is clearly wrong with that Ferrari. You see there, that wheel's not even on the ground. You just swerve there in front of Fernando Alonso, the race leader, has now come up to put Sebastian Vettel a lap down. Looks like he's got a puncture there. Now comes one of the Saubers going up behind, he pulls to the inside there, lets the Sauber go past. Now coming up down into the brake zone, can Vettel actually get stunned? He's going really fast in the brake zone, he's not going to stop this, he goes off into the gravel trap once again. Can he get Ferrari out of the gravel trap this time? It's going to be very slow rejoining, but now Vettel does get out of the gravel trap. Now moving on to that lap, we're coming to pits now, with Williams anticipating a safety car, so they're calling us in early now for our final stop to go into a set of the super soft tyres to take us to the end of the race. Honestly, with what Sebastian Vettel's doing, honestly I wouldn't be surprised if there is a safety car to come in this race. So Williams grabbing the initiative for once, pokes to a set of the super soft tyres now can go to the end of the group. This is also going to give us an undercut on all the cars around us as well. But it just depends, have we done enough to keep ahead of Nico Hulkenberg when we come down to turn 1. Now here comes Nico Hulkenberg coming down now into turn 1. It's going to be pretty touch and go, that's where we're getting from there. Of the German, now Hulkenberg there actually with a few laps under gas now managed to get past us once again. Now we're trying to chase down Nico Hulkenberg now in the Renault, and looking at Sebastian Vettel, now found himself in another gravel trap. It's going to be a Ferrari disaster this race. Now he's going to get back on the track this time, and now Vettel just does manage to get back on the track. Thankfully there's no one else coming up behind him to try and punt him off further. Now he's got pretty much one sector left to go for to make it back to the pit lane. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Ferrari retiring when he comes into pit lane. He's already a lap down behind the two Saubers. There's no way he's catching back up now. Going now into the pit lane, Sebastian Vettel coming to the lane. Once again, he just goes too high into the corner, runs completely wide. Thankfully, there's no one else coming, and Vettel there just just about manages to get into the pit lane, and once again runs wide with that puncture. And I've made it, thankfully, into the pit lane, so hopefully it gets stopped there for the braking ball so it doesn't get done for speeding in the pit lane. Coming in there with the tyres flapping away, so Ferrari once again changing the wheels. I pretty much just habit, and they're actually going to send Vettel back out. Why have they sent Vettel back out? Surely they should just save the mileage on the engine. He's already a lap down, maybe even 2 laps down by this point now, so the race is effectively over for Sebastian Vettel, so why not just save the mileage on the engine? But no, Vettel, they're sending back out, so don't really know why Ferrari have done that. I'm looking back, we are coming up now into turn 2, Vettel coming on to turn behind, so we've lapped Sebastian Vettel. Vettel's a lap down, at least 1 lap down now to the top 10. Maybe even 2 laps down, because I don't know how far behind Sebastian Vettel is now. Maybe even be 2 laps down in this race. Now coming up now into turn 3, once again gaining on the back of Hulkenberg. We're just, once again, that Renault's just got some mighty straight line speed. And that's really not something I thought I'd say either. Now our teammates in the pits there, Robbie Kubica coming in for his final stop. Now getting up behind the back now of Nico Hulkenberg coming up through the second sector. We're side by side now with Hulkenberg, just keep it behind there. Just nothing we can do to try and make a move on Hulkenberg through the second sector. It's just a problem with these wider cars. If you can find a gap, you just can't find the gaps that we could before. Now getting up behind the back now of Nico Hulkenberg. Now we come down the final few corners. Now we have DRS now on the back of the German. Can try and make a move on Hulkenberg this time. Now we're going to be stopped. We're going to be slipstream now, and DRS now going to put this inside now of Nico Hulkenberg. Can try and make the move on the inside of Nico Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg trying to hold it around the outside. We just about keep 2 ways on the track there to keep that as a legal overtake. So we now can try and pull away from Nico Hulkenberg. Try and gain now on the back of Carlos Sainz in the Toro Rosso. If you think the Renault's a low drag car, then the Toro Rosso is going to be even more low drag, trying to maximise the straight line speed with the disadvantage they have with the Renault power unit. And moving on to lap 27 and 36, not long left to go in this race now. Now cut up right to the back now of Carlos Sainz, right in the back there, one of the Haas is in front. You know how fast the Haas will be in a straight line. So he should be pretty easy to defend from Carlos Sainz. Now Sainz getting in, especially now on the back. Oh, the Haas can pull to the inside now with the Haas coming up to turn 2. It's going to be side by side. Can the Haas try and hold it right around the outside? Don't know which Haas this is, but you can hold it around the outside there on the racing line and manage to make it stick. Now Sainz will have DRS now to try and gain on the back now of the Haas. He's trying to make a move to the inside. He's gaining quite a bit. He's going to try and pull to the inside now of the Haas, but just have to back out of it in the final second. Just sitting close enough there to make a move on the inside. Has to defend him as slot back into the racing line. But now Sainz will have, once again, just trying to follow through the sector. Now go Hulkenberg trying to make a move right over inside. Gets some great traction there. After turn 3, going to hold it side by side now with Nico Hulkenberg. And Hulkenberg keeping side by side, trying to hold it around the outside now of the German going through the second sector. Hulkenberg just gets it up over inside. Great overtake there from Nico Hulkenberg, really using the initiative. Getting some amazing traction out of that turn 3. And he's able to make the move back in front of us. And now he's got the momentum. Can he try and chase down Carlos Sainz and the Haas in front, which I think is Lawrence Stroll. So Stroll really is starting to form a bit of a train behind him with that straight line speed. It's pretty much just his saving grace at this point, and Sainz are starting to fall away quite a bit there from the back of the young Canadian. Now moving on to lap 30 and 36. Only a few laps left to go in this race now. Now coming on now around the final few corners, we're all in the line here. See, Stroll really is the slowest of these cars, but with the straight line speed really is just his saving grace. Now we have DRS now on the back of Nico Hulkenberg. Will have DRS on the back of Sainz, but then Sainz has DRS on the back of Lawrence Stroll. So it's going to be remaining status quo coming to turn 1, and just not close enough there to the back of Nico Hulkenberg. Got yellow flags further behind us. Now try and gain this literally down coming up into turn 2 on the back of Nico Hulkenberg. Now we drop down to 16 runs. We're coming to turn 2. Now Sebastian Vettel's out of the Grand Prix. Now that should have happened about 10 laps ago. So Ferrari finally deciding to retire Sebastian Vettel from the race. Don't really know why they left him out for an extra 10 laps. Nothing. He's not going to gain back 2 laps. So interesting decision there from Ferrari. We're not coming up now into turn 3. We still have to steer behind Nico Hulkenberg, because Hulkenberg is faster than Carlos Sainz. But all 3 of us are faster than Lawrence Stroll in front. But it's just with that amazing straight line speed of the Haas. There's nothing we can do to try and get past. And like I said before, that is the one problem of supplying a customer team with the exact same power unit you have. They're going to have a low drag car, which means they will be faster in a straight line. Coming through the corners, especially just with the nature of the track around the second sector, there's nothing you can do to try and make a move on the car in front through the second sector. But now coming around the final few corners now, getting right behind the back now of Nico Hulkenberg once again. And now we have DRS on the back of Hulkenberg. Now try and make a move to the inside now of Hulkenberg, coming up now into turn 1 with yellow flags. We just had to back out there. It's Vettel there. Of all the places he had to pull off to retire, he had to be turn 1 when we were getting a run there on the back of Nico Hulkenberg. But now Hulkenberg will have DRS once again. Solution coming on the back now of Carlos Sainz. And again, Sainz will have the DRS on the back of Lance Stroll coming up to turn 2 once again, trying to make a move on the inside of Nico Hulkenberg. We're just not close enough there to the back of Nico Hulkenberg, trying to make a move up his inside. Now once again, we have DRS now on the back of the Renault. Once again, we're just losing out in straight lines. So surely there has to be something wrong with our car. We are not this slow in straight line. You've seen it before, how unbelievably fast this Williams is in straight lines. So we were running rich mix, so we were running this engine to its absolute capacity. That there has to be something wrong with our car for us to be going this slowly in straight line. Our engine's only at 50% worth. That's not going to be a factor. Maybe the D-race or something. Something's wrong with our car at least. Something is just wrong with our car. We've seen through the corners, we're still being up, so we haven't got any aero parts that have decided to vacate our car. It's just in a straight line, we're just losing out in the power. So hopefully the team can try and do a fix on our car to try and fix whatever reason is we're going so slowly in a straight line. Once again, we're staying on the DRS now with the back of Hulkenberg coming up into turn 1. Once again, we're just too far behind the back of Nico Hulkenberg trying to make a move on the back of him. So we've got Kobayashi behind us, but Kobayashi is absolutely nowhere near us, and he's not going to be a threat in the remainder of this race. Now coming up now into turn 2 once again, we're just too far back behind Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg once again pulling away from us. Whatever wrong with our car really is affecting us in a straight line. Now Hulkenberg then runs out. Hulkenberg runs out. Why? Going to be side by side with Hulkenberg. This could be our opportunity to make the move back. On Nico Hulkenberg going to be side by side now coming up into turn 3 with the DRS. And we managed to make the move to the inside of Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg also has DRS. We try and hold it now on the inside of Nico Hulkenberg coming into the braking zone. We've got the inside line. Oh, you made the move stick there on the inside there of Nico Hulkenberg. So now we can try and chase down after Carlos Sainz and Lance Stroll in front. And coming through the sector and try and pull a bit of a gap, because in the matter, because we're just going to catch up to the back of Sainz and Stroll anyway. So let's say with us gaining on the back of Stroll, Stroll's also gaining on Mick Schumacher, who's actually having a pretty good race there, keeping it in front there of Lance Stroll. So Schumacher's had a really good race, but now let's say this final stage, with how much we're pushing Stroll, we're just forcing him to go that much faster. Now he's caught up to the back of Mick Schumacher. Now we've got DRS now on the back of Carlos Sainz. We come on to start lap 34, 36, only 3 laps left to go in this race. Coming out now into turn 1, there's Stroll right on the back there of Mick Schumacher. But now we'll have DRS and slow stream coming up now. We're getting onto the back straight, but now just with the slow stream now on the back of Carlos Sainz. Now coming up into turn 2, so Stroll again to move to the inside there of Mick Schumacher up in front. And Schumacher try and hold it around the outside. It's going to be side by side with the two Hassies. With our B team cars, and it's going to be side by side with the two of them. Now Stroll will have DRS now, try and make the move on Mick Schumacher. Come down the turn 2, going to be side by side there, and Stroll managed to make the move right there on Mick Schumacher to make the move up there into what I think is P5. And now Schumacher surely has to run as the rear gunner now to try and keep Carlos Sainz, all of us behind at bay. But now coming through the second sector, you can see Sainz all over the back there of Schumacher. See, Schumacher was getting really slow in a straight line. So is there a problem with Schumacher's car as well? Surely that's a big problem with Schumacher's car. See how slow he's going in a straight line. Now Sainz can pull to the inside now of Mick Schumacher coming up now into the final few corners. We try to make a move off the inside. Schumacher could lose 2 positions here in one corner and make a move stay on the inside of Schumacher. Schumacher runs out wide now. Here goes Nico Hulkenberg in the Renault trying to make a move on Mick Schumacher as well as Schumacher just losing out so much in a straight line. Now Hulkenberg trying to make a move upside now into turn 1. And Schumacher there. It's literally 4 positions in 1 lap. Because surely there is something wrong with that car. Now Fernando Alonso in Mercedes is not too far behind, coming up to lap them now. So Schumacher's race just going from bad to worse. Surely there's something wrong with this car. Surely whatever's wrong with our car is also wrong with Schumacher's, but Schumacher has it a lot worse than what we do. Now we've only got a lap and a half left to go. Can we try and clear Carlos Sainz to try and take a P7 finish in this race? So the team are happy with where we currently are, but we can get that position off of Carlos Sainz. Coming up to turn 3, we're just too far behind the back there of Carlos Sainz to try and make a move on the back of him. Now coming up now through the second sector, we're just going to have to follow Carlos Sainz here through this final sector. Of course, we're not going to get lapped in this race, thankfully, because Fernando Alonso is already on lap 36. We're not getting the blue flag warning, so we're not going to finish this race on the lead lap. I'm not being lapped in. Now we're getting on the station now on the back of Carlos Sainz, because Sainz with that Renault power unit shouldn't be too much of a fight for us, but once again, whatever's wrong with our car, it really is affecting us straight line. Now Fernando Alonso is coming around the final few corners, and we know he's got a new contract at Mercedes for 2018. Now Fernando Alonso comes around the final corner. He's going to cross the line to win the Austrian Grand Prix in dominant fashion, to take what is only his first victory of this season. Now Alonso's going to get a great view of the battle now between ourselves and Carlos Sainz here. We're gaining on the street team on the back now of Carlos Sainz coming up now into turn 2. We're trying to move to the inside there of Carlos Sainz coming up now into turn 2. We're just not quite close enough there to the back of the Spaniard. Now Alonso's getting really close behind us. Because Alonso can't lap us now, he's finished the race. Now he's going to get a great view on this final lap of the battle between the two of us now. As it comes down, actually, Alonso there really celebrating his first victory, and honestly, why wouldn't he? It's took him 9 races, but he finally got his victory. And a huge lock up there from Carlos Sainz once again. Sainz managing to get around the corner, so he can't make anything there out of that lockup. And now coming up now through the second sector, just to try and get anything to try and around Carlos Sainz, trying to go around the outside there of Carlos Sainz, just trying to find any way past this Toro Rosso. We just can't find a way past this Toro Rosso. Now just coming up now through the second sector. There only one sector of this race left to go, gaining insulation now on the back of Carlos Sainz. Try and make a move on the back end, now coming up now into the final few corners, try and make anything happen, but Sainz out. There's nothing we can do. Now coming around the final corner, Sainz there, defending inside, we just block this up, we can't quite get our car around the outside. And coming on to the finish line, we're just going to have to settle there for a P8 finish. But what could have been in this race? Given finishing P8 there, we could have gone a lot higher, but just whatever was wrong with our car just really did hamper our progress in a straight line in the final few laps of the race. There you can see Toto Wolff looking very happy with Fernando Alonso's drive. I mean, it's been a disastrous race there for Ferrari, both of them out of the Grand Prix, so Mercedes just gained 20 points in the championship back. On Ferrari, of course, they could have been hoping for more if Verlaine's engine didn't blow up, but Fernando Alonso taking his 37th career victory and his first victory since the USA 2016, so it's been a while there for Fernando Alonso. He finally gets his name back on the winners list. Taking a look at the race results, Fernando Alonso would take victory, 46 seconds clear of Robin Kubica, who comes in a brilliant second place there for Williams, and Daniel Kvyat runs off the podium for Red Bull at their home race. Max Verstappen will come home in 4th in the second of the Red Bulls, with Lewis Hamilton getting a great P5 position in there for Toyota, only just under a second behind both of them. Lance Stroll comes home in a brilliant P6 there for Haas, with Carlos Sainz holding on to 7th, only just from us, and we come home in 8th as the last car on the lead lap. Nico Hülkenberg has to settle for 9th in the Renault, with Mick Schumacher coming home in a rather disappointing P10, given that he should have been the one to finish in 6th if it wasn't for whatever happened with his power unit in the final few laps. Kobayashi could only manage 11th in the second of the Toyotas, with Daniel Ricciardo rounding off the points positions there in 12th in the second of the Renaults. Giovinazzi would just miss out on the points position, coming in 13th there for Sauber, with Sutton right behind him in 14th. So what could have been a good race, could have been a points haul there. The first points of the season for Sauber just cruelly denied there by Daniel Ricciardo. Mia Haryanto will come home in 15th as the lead McLaren, his teammate Carmen Jorda going home in 16th and as the last of the finishers. Vettel comes home in 17th with Pierre Gasly, Jean-Eric Verne and Pascal Wehrlein all DNFing in the race. For my driver of the day, it has to be Robert Kubica. I mean, remember back to the start of the season with the critics saying that he won't be able to drive one-handed? Well, I think he's proved them wrong, taking second place in a Williams which really shouldn't be in second place. You see, he did 2 stops, he did an extra stop and came back and passed both the Red Bulls as well, so great drive there from Robert Kubica. Now moving on to the points tables, because unfortunately no interview at the end of this race. Hopefully they'll be back for the next race at Britain. Jean-Eric Verne now has a 29-point lead over Sebastian Vettel. Of course that's not going to change given neither of them scored points. Pascal Wehrlein remains in 3rd, 32 points behind again, that's not going to change either. But now Fernando Alonso finally moves ahead of us now to get back into 4th on 82 points, albeit he is joining with us on points, but by a better result with Alonso winning that race. He now moves up into 4th, dropping us down to 5th, and both of us are now 2 race victories behind Jean-Eric Verne. Daniel Kvyat remains in 6th there on 70 points, 11 points clear of his teammate Max Verstappen, who's in 7th on 59. Robert Kubica now moving up to 8th on 44 points, with Hamilton in 9th on 39, joined on points now with Lance Stroll, but once again on better result, Hamilton now moves ahead of Lance Stroll. Buemi now drops down to 11th on 33 points. Of course that points total is not going to increase for the remainder of this season, with Hülkenberg rounding off the top 12 for Renault on 21 points. Much like Buemi, Ocon's points total isn't going to increase this season, so he'll remain on 18, with Carlos Sainz in 14th on 15, Kobayashi dropping down to 15th on 14 points, Daniel Ricciardo in 16th on 13, Pierre Gasly in 17th on 9, Mick Schumacher getting his first points in Formula 1, getting 3 valuable points there for the Haas team, moving up now to 18th ahead there of Komario and Rui rounding off the point scorers. And yet Giovinazzi, Adrian Sutil and Nico Carey all yet to score in this season. Moving on to the constructors standings, and Ferrari now have a 43-point lead over Mercedes, with Williams holding on to third by 1 point from Red Bull, who are right behind us in fourth on 129 points to 130. Haas and Toyota now joint on points on 71, but with better result going to Kubica with fourth at Canada. Haas keep ahead there of Toyota for the time being. Renault are in 7th, 10 points clear now of Toro Rosso, who are in 8th, with McLaren in 9th on 2 points and Sauber in 10th, still yet to score. So that's been the Austrian Grand Prix. Thanks for watching. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new, vote for your driver of the day with the poll link that will be in the description or in the comment section. It's the same link either way, so just click either one of them, they both go to the same poll for the vote. Also check out the wiki, which will be in the description, for all the latest news on this season, previous seasons and what's to come in the future as well. And thanks for watching, I'll see you all next time.